Today, we're breaking down the top 5 streaming devices of 2025, not just in terms of raw specs, but how they actually perform in real life. So, whether you're looking to cut the cord, upgrade your old streaming stick, or just wondering why your TV takes 10 minutes to open Netflix, we've got you covered. We'll walk through the strengths and quirks of each device, so by the end, you'll know exactly which one fits your setup, your budget, and your sanity. Let's get started with one of the most popular options out there, the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K Max. It may not look like much, but the 2025 Fire TV Stick 4K Max is one of the fastest, most capable streaming sticks for the price. It boots fast, switches apps smoothly, and supports Dolby Vision, HDR10+, and Dolby Atmos, meaning sharp visuals, vibrant colors, and immersive sound. The big upgrade this year is Wi-Fi 6E, which reduces buffering in busy homes packed with smart devices. Navigation is snappy, though Amazon pushes its own content a bit too aggressively. Still, Alexa integration is useful if you're in that ecosystem, and the new 16GB storage means fewer app deletions. The remote is solid, with voice control and clearly labeled buttons. In short, excellent performance, modern features, and great value, if you don't mind a bit of Amazon branding baked in. Next up, we have the Google TV Streamer 4K. Google's latest attempt to refine its streaming experience into something more cohesive, more polished, and ideally less chaotic than some of its past efforts. Now, to be clear, this is not the old Chromecast that needed your phone to function like a remote. The Google TV Streamer 4K is a full-featured standalone device. You plug it in, pick up the remote, and start streaming. No smartphone hand-holding required. The design is minimal, almost suspiciously so. It's a compact, puck-shaped unit that tucks away behind your television or on a shelf if you want to show off that you own a streaming puck. The included remote is clean, ergonomic, and, this part's crucial, has an actual input button. That means you can switch your television source without doing that weird juggling dance between remotes. Yes, progress. The interface is where the Google TV Streamer really shines. It runs the Google TV operating system, which despite the name is not actually a television, but a very clever way to unify content from across your apps, Netflix, Hulu, Max, YouTube, whatever, into one central feed. It recommends shows based on your viewing habits, and unlike some competitors, it doesn't shove its own content at you like an overeager salesperson. One feature worth pointing out, it has an optional Ethernet adapter. If you live in a household where Wi-Fi is more of a hopeful suggestion than a reality, being able to plug directly into your router is a big deal. As for smart home integration, this thing talks to your entire Google ecosystem. You can dim the lights, check your Nest camera, or ask it to show you YouTube clips of people reviewing the same product you just bought, which is a weirdly common human impulse, but hey, no judgment. It does land slightly higher than entry-level sticks, and that might give some people pause. You're paying a bit extra for the refined interface and the Google ecosystem. Still, for people who value clean design, unified content, and just want things to work without too much tweaking, the Google TV Streamer 4K is arguably the most balanced option on this list. Now we arrive at the NVIDIA Shield TV Pro, the overachiever of the streaming world. This thing is less streaming stick and more entertainment war machine. If the Fire Stick is a well-made commuter car and Google's Streamer is a sleek electric vehicle, the Shield is a tricked-out SUV with a gaming PC engine under the hood. At first glance, it doesn't scream for attention. It's a low-profile black box, a bit larger than the others, with a few extra ports on the back. But once you start using it, the difference is immediate. Everything is fast. Not just it loads Netflix quickly fast, but how did it already finish updating 5 apps while I blinked fast? The secret sauce is NVIDIA's Tegra X 1 Plus processor, which, while technically a few years old, still outperforms most chips found in other streamers today. And they pair it with 3 GB of RAM and 16 GB of storage, which is actually expandable thanks to those USB ports. Yes, actual USB ports. You can plug in a hard drive, a keyboard, even a controller. This thing is basically the Swiss Army knife of media boxes. Of course, it supports every major format, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, HDR10, but the Shield goes a step further with AI-enhanced upscaling. That means if you're watching older 1080p content, it will attempt to upscale it to 4K using artificial intelligence. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's, whoa, that old episode of The Office suddenly looks like it was shot yesterday. It doesn't work perfectly on everything, but when it does, it's pretty impressive. Now, where the Shield really distances itself is in versatility. It's not just a streamer, it's a Plex server, a retro game console, a smart home hub, and a low-key productivity box. People use it to run emulators, stream games with GeForce Now, and even control home automation setups. If that all sounds like overkill, it is, but it's the fun kind of overkill. The interface is Android TV, which is a bit more technical than Google TV, but also more customizable. You're not locked into any particular ecosystem, and that freedom is a big selling point for power users. Want to sideload apps? Go for it. Want to use it as a NAS for your home network? Sure. Want to pretend it's still 1998 and play Nintendo 64 games on your TV? Be my guest. Of course, all that power comes at a cost, both literally and figuratively. The Shield TV Pro is the most expensive device on this list. And honestly, if all you want to do is stream Ted Lasso and call it a night, you probably do not need this much horsepower. But if you are the kind of person who wants total control over your media setup, or if you're already running a complicated home entertainment system, the Shield is a beast. And it's been holding that title for years now. Let's now talk about the Roku Streaming Stick Plus, the quiet workhorse of the streaming world. It may not have the AI upscaling flair of the NVIDIA Shield or the hyper-connected smart home skills of Google TV, but it nails the basics with a kind of serene confidence that's easy to overlook until you actually use it. First off, setup is stupidly easy. You plug it into your television's HDMI port, connect to Wi-Fi, sign into a few apps, and you're done. The interface is clean, uncluttered, and refreshingly straightforward. Roku isn't trying to push its own content universe on you. It's just trying to help you watch your stuff. And honestly, that restraint is kind of rare these days. The Streaming Stick Plus supports 4K resolution HDR10 and a solid Wi-Fi antenna built into the stick itself, meaning it maintains a stronger connection, even if your router lives in a faraway corner of the house behind a stack of unread mail and broken dreams. It doesn't have Dolby Vision or Dolby Atmos, so if you're an audiovisual purist with a home theater setup that could rival a small cinema, this may feel like a compromise, but for most people, the picture looks great, the sound is clean, and it does the job. Performance-wise, it's snappy. Not in a wow, this feels futuristic way, but in a nothing is freezing and I'm not yelling at my TV way, which frankly is often the difference between a relaxing night and throwing the remote across the room. Apps open quickly, the navigation is fluid, and Roku's search functionality is surprisingly smart. It compares prices across platforms and helps you find where your shows are streaming rather than funneling you into a single service. The remote is simple and practical, with dedicated buttons for popular apps like Netflix, Disney+, and sometimes ones you'll never actually use but can't reprogram. It includes voice search too, which works well enough, even if you occasionally have to repeat yourself like you're talking to a toddler who only responds to perfectly enunciated syllables. Where Roku really wins is in staying out of your way. There are no pop-ups trying to sell you a subscription to something you already declined. No aggressive algorithms nudging you to watch their latest original series. Just a solid, user-friendly experience that respects your time and your attention span. And price-wise, the Roku Streaming Stick Plus is one of the most affordable options on this list, often under $50. That makes it a great choice for guest rooms, travel setups, or anyone who wants reliable 4K streaming without thinking too hard about it. Let's wrap things up with the Amazon Fire TV Cube, the biggest, boldest, and most ambitious device in Amazon's streaming lineup. If the Fire Stick is a slick utility player, the Cube is the quarterback calling the shots and occasionally yelling at your smart lights. Physically, it's just what it sounds like. A glossy black cube that looks part streaming box, part sci-fi AI assistant, and honestly, it kind of is both. Under the hood, it matches the Fire Stick 4K Max in offering crisp 4K resolution, Dolby Vision, HDR10+, and Dolby Atmos. But the Cube cranks it up with a faster processor, more memory, and extra ports including HDMI in, USB-A, and Ethernet. It's designed for power users who want their streaming box to double as a command center. But the real draw? Hands-free Alexa. Unlike the Fire Stick, the Cube is always listening, in a hopefully not too creepy way. You can say things like, "Alexa, open Netflix," or "turn off the lights," and it'll do it without lifting a finger. It's like having a tiny digital butler, minus the salary. That said, it's not for everyone. If you're not into smart homes or don't love the idea of a device that listens all the time, it might feel like overkill. And at over $100, it's pricier than most streaming sticks. Still, for those who want an all-in-one entertainment hub, something that runs your shows, soundbar, and smart home, the Fire TV Cube is a powerful, polished choice. So there you have it, 5 top picks for 2025. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more no-nonsense tech breakdowns.